What's up, YouTube? I'm back with another video, and today we're gonna be reacting to the real Lil Durk story documentary. So with this, man, Durk, bro, he came a long way. If y'all really was there back then when he started, around Chief Keef and all of them's time, Lil Reese, Fredo Santana, all that. Well, Fredo was a little bit like after, honestly, but he came out like around the same time as them. But like Durk, Reese, and Keef started probably some of the earliest, like especially out of the people that's still alive and still making music. Although Reese and Keith aren't as consistent, and Dirk is like really on top. That goes to show you though, like Dirk is the one with the true longevity. Like you know what I'm saying? Like he really got better and bigger. Like he did almost the impossible. Like not even just in the drill scene. Like that's not even nothing for real. Like the drill scene, it wasn't like all though it holds a special place in my heart. It ain't like it was like one of the most skilled eras or anything. It was turned like it had turned up music and all that, and you get turned to it, teed up and party and all that. But it wasn't like hella skilled or nothing. You know what I mean? It was just like some turn stuff. But Dirk, like in rap in general, in history of rap, he really did something few rappers ever did. He came back from falling off bigger, and not only bigger but better. That's an opinion, but a lot of people would agree he's better than he's ever been, and it's a fact he's bigger than he's ever been. So people gotta give Dirk his flowers, man. He really different with it for real. Like I ain't saying he's like the goat or anything, obviously, but he's definitely a high tier in our generation, especially when it comes to street rappers. Like Dirk is top tier. You feel me? Dirk, Young Boy, Lil Baby, Herb, all them type of dudes. You gotta give them that top tier when it comes to street rappers in this generation. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on that. Big salute to Dirk, like I said. And we finna get straight into this, man. Make sure y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments below. He said, waiting on me to fall off. I told him better keep waiting. And but Dirk, man, Dirk is really inspirational, bro. I ain't cap. Dirk came a long way, man. Big eyed that boy. Big buzz, man. Trying to stay tuned, get rich. I get bands, I'm nonchalant. I don't got friends, I'm nonchalant. When I'm high, I'm nonchalant.
Dirk Banks was born October 19, 1992. Raised in Inglewood, a neighborhood on the south side of Chicago, his father was known as Big Dirk, and he was incarcerated for selling crack cocaine in the early 90s. It was reported that
Yeah,
his dad had
Big
upwards of
Dirk
$8
really
million
on that
that was
shit.
seized during his
On the
arrest.
dude really was a
After
street
this, Dirk
legend.
took on a lot of responsibility as he was considered the man in the house. With his father gone, his mother and family struggled for the basic needs to get by. He says there were times where he couldn't eat because there was no money for food at home.
He said, I love your ass to death. I said it 100 times. Dirk, man, you different with it.
Eventually, they all moved into his grandmother's house where 10 people stayed in 3 bedrooms. His mother was working long hours as a nurse, so there was never much of a barrier between Dirk and the streets. By the time he was in 5th grade, staying out till 4 or 5 in the morning became a normal thing for him. He came to the conclusion that the only way he could take care of his family would be to follow in his dad's footsteps. So at age 10, he hopped off the porch and hustled for money. This progressed into his teen years
Age
until he eventually
10,
joined
bruh. He hopped off the porch early.
the Black Disciples, who controlled the Inglewood neighborhood.
That's the crazy thing.
Violence
His
in the
dad was
area was so
GD.
bad it became normal to lose friends or family every few months. Although the streets occupied
Wasn't
most of
that
his time,
Tay?
he took a key interest in rapping. He created a MySpace account that
The
was
one
quickly
Tay,
gaining a
like
small amount of
not Tay,
followers, which
the other one.
encouraged him even more to release music. He and his childhood friends created their own brand
Tay
called
Town, Tay from
OTF,
Tay Town.
or Only the Family. But juggling school and becoming a dad at just 17 was becoming
Hey,
hard to manage.
OTF and Nicki ain't no way,
So he
bro.
decided to drop out altogether in order
That's
to pursue
funny
his
as hell.
career. He started dropping music around 2010 online under the name Lil Durk. Initially, his style was heavily influenced by Lil Wayne, and most of his songs were just remixes. But from 2010 to 2011, Durk started to find his own unique sound. At the
Yeah,
time,
Dirk really started in 2008 technically, but he ain't take it serious until 2010. So in reality, if you want to say in general, he's been in the game literally what 14 years now, but taking it serious, he's been in the game 12 years. So no matter which way you put it, he's been in the game over a decade. You know
or
what I'm
a lot of
saying?
rappers from the nearby area who were all trying to get heard. This included Chief Keef, Fredo Santana,
And I don't
Young
even think
Reese,
Dirk started
SD,
off
Lil
like
Durk,
nowhere
and
near the
more.
most naturally
Because they were
talented,
all
but he grew his skill. Like that goes to show you hard work really pays off. Because there was definitely a lot of people more naturally talented than Dirk, like when they first started off. But Dirk pretty much surpassed everybody from the drill scene, in my opinion. The only one that stayed consistent with him is like Herb, or he's even still up there with him. You know, you could say Polo G, but I don't know. I need to see more from him, and he don't even do drill like that. I mean, him and Dirk, they both do the melodic or the drill. I guess it depends, but Dirk is more versatile with it for real.
part of the Black Disciples and friends with each other, they formed another group called 300. Dirk still had his OTF, but he was a part of the larger group 300 now. This meant they could click up and benefit from one another as all their popularity grew. Dirk released a song called I'ma Hit It in March of 2011, and he recalls it getting over
I
10,000
remember that
views.
song.
It was a small victory,
That John was decent. I didn't really care for
but
that
at the
one though.
time, this reassured him that he was on the right path. Shortly after, he released his first mixtape with the same title in hopes
Yeah,
of
that's the
gaining some.
thing. Like I said, I didn't really like Dirk's super early stuff. Like the first song I really probably liked from him was L's Anthem, and that was in 2012, like earlier 2012 or like mid 2012. And you gotta think about it if he started in like 2008, so it like took some time for me to really like. And I heard all of his music pretty much, like not counting unreleased stuff, but like stuff that's really out. Guarantee you, I heard at least 99% of it, bro. Like if not all of it.
Does.
Heard all of
It
his
worked and a
tapes,
small momentum
all his
formed around his
singles.
name, as his songs started to get 5 to 20,000 views consistently. Unfortunately, his association in the streets was holding him back, as trouble with the law continued. He ended up getting locked up for a gun charge with a defaced serial number, which landed him a few months behind bars. Once released, though, he was at a crossroad. His music was getting heard, but he was still struggling to get by. On the bright side, the entire Chicago drill movement was blowing up, which only benefited Durk and his come up. Unlike most drill rappers who all shared a similar style, Durk started to stand out with his ability to rap, but also deliver a melodic singing flow.
Yeah,
He
he
applied
really
this to
was
his
one of
single
the
mixtape
earlier ones with that, like with the singing melodic type street vibe. You know what I'm saying? He definitely was one of the earlier pioneers of that style.
I'm Still
Definitely
Hitting
the
It in
first with
2012
drill.
with the lead
Definitely the
single,
first with
L's
that.
Anthem. L's Anthem was a controversial song in the streets and was
I
even
think
said to
Dirk,
have made the war in
Keith,
Chicago
and
worse.
Kappa
But
was the
regardless, it
first with
blew
that.
up and received millions of plays, taking Dirk from a local artist to his name reaching all over. Immediately, record labels were already calling to sign the promising superstar. He inked a deal with Def Jam for an undisclosed amount the next month. Now, at the time, Dirk thought this would be the highlight of his career. He signed a deal, and now he'd be able to move his entire family out of the hood. But really, this was just the beginning. He still had to
Literally
put the
just the
work in,
beginning,
but
bro.
before he got the chance, he was once again booked and locked up for another 3 months. Once released, he dropped his third mixtape, Life Ain't No Joke, which had multiple hit songs like 52 Bars and Right Here.
I was like, man,
Yeah, Life Ain't No Joke was the first like project I liked from him. You know what I'm saying? That definitely has some bangers on it.
you know, I just got signed. Being in Chicago, man, I don't know. Wrong place, wrong time, like I said.
You could check my back.
Going into 2013,
Yeah,
Lil
right
Durk
now
was
on
riding
that
a
joint.
wave of momentum, and it seemed like nothing was going to stop him. He dropped This Ain't What You Want, and just like he had hoped for,
Yep,
it
that
did
was a
better than he
banger.
could have imagined.
I don't
The
know.
song got over 40 million views alone and skyrocketed his career. Although things were looking better than ever, trouble always had a way of interrupting things. Dirk was locked up again, this time with a $100,000 bail. This event would actually begin the falling out of Dirk and Chief Keef.
Yeah, that's when him
While
and
Dirk
Keith
was
had
behind
some
bars, he
beef from
reached
that.
out to Chief Keef and asked him to help him out. But unfortunately, Keef turned his back and went shopping that same day, leaving Dirk hanging.
I
Eventually, Dirk
never
was
get why Keith did that. Like maybe they just wasn't that close, but that was weird on Keith's part. You know what I mean?
released, but from this point on, he mostly stuck in his own lane. The two did eventually resolve their issues, but it created tension between them for a while. He had huge clout now, but was still chasing that superstar status. Despite dealing with legal issues, Dirk always stayed consistent, dropping mixtapes every six
Yeah,
months
it
or
did
so.
take Dirk a while to pass Keith. I mean, he'll never pass Keith's influence, but if you count the three categories, overall what people would consider skill, success, and influence, like, okay, Keith got influence, but Dirk definitely got skill and success over him. At this point, I don't think you could argue unless you're really like a Keith fanboy. Like, But we all got our opinions. I mean, it's a fact Dirk's more successful, and it's a fact Keith is more influential. So it really just comes down to skill. But I have to give it to Dirk. Honestly, he developed himself a lot more. You know what I mean?
Sign to the Streets 1 and 2 were both very successful drops, and he was even then featured on the 2014 XXL freshman list. But it's
Yeah,
really what
he was
happens
on
after
early.
this that made his entire career. From 2015 to 2018, Dirk continued his grind.
See, 2015 and 16 is when he kind of was falling off a little bit. Then he brought it back in like 2017 and 18, and now he's like way up. You know what I mean? Like top tier. It's not even up for argument. Next project, guarantee you, it should sell at least 100K, probably over that.
Debut album Remember My Name was released and sold 24,000 copies its first week. These were pretty decent numbers for his first album, considering he was still trying to break completely out into the mainstream. Although he had signed a deal and was consistently a name being brought up, it seemed like his career was starting to go stagnant. Some critics stated this was as far as his talents would take him, and this would be his peak. At the time, there was some truth to this. In 2016, he dropped his second album, Lil Durk 2 times.
See, I ain't even really wait, was that the joint? Yeah, I don't think I like that one too much. Dirk, he has a good ratio for me. I like at least 75% of his projects, so he's like 12 out of 16. There's like four I don't like, and four I don't like, and 12 I do like for real.
Only selling 12,000 copies its first week. His albums and mixtapes were not selling the kind of numbers the label felt like they should have been.
How much?
His Lil Durk 2 times, only selling 12,000 copies its first
Damn,
week.
12,000.
His albums and mixtapes were not selling the kind of numbers the
It's
label
come up
felt
kind of
like
like
they should
Young
have
Thugs
been.
for real.
He had yet to make another song that had surpassed his 2013 This Ain't What You Want. He ended up leaving Def Jam and signing a new deal with Alamo and Interscope.
Yeah, 2018 is really when he turned up. I ain't gonna lie. When he put Vaughn on and stuff, bro, that's when he really turns up. Like,
Dirk, introduce this guy right here. I don't know who he is.
King Von, you know what I'm saying? One
yeah,
of the hottest,
really.
the hottest in
turned him
Chicago.
Yes?
You know what I'm saying? Going crazy.
Okay.
Man, OTF.
He's OTF?
Show.
R.I.P. Vaughn, bro. Vaughn really had niggas turned. I ain't gonna lie. He definitely like gave Dirk
Dirk
that
knew he had to
boost
switch
like that he
things up.
needed.
He started
Like he
to
gave
focus-
Dirk that energy. Every collab Dirk would go crazy on, like with him and Vaughn, because he knew he had to match that energy. Like, and Vaughn was just naturally hella talented. Like, I ain't gonna lie, when it comes to natural talent, he was way more talented than Dirk naturally. But obviously Dirk was way more skilled. You know what I mean? Dirk, like I said, I think he's the best ever from the drill scene at this point. It's not even up for discussion. Vaughn, you could argue, was top 5 to 10. You know what I'm saying? But I got Dirk at that number 1 spot. But given time, I think Vaughn could have definitely been at least up there with him. You know, he already was starting to get up there with him views wise and stuff. He got the one song more than any views Dirk got on that song that took her to the O. That's at like 120 something mil. Dirk's biggest solo song is only at like 104 mil, I think, when we shoot. But that's on YouTube, dude. But y'all get what I'm saying there.
His energy on his own label, OTF.
And Dirk was
signing
helping
new
Vaughn
artists
too,
and
like
pushing that
obviously,
brand.
and Vaughn had easy access to studios. Like Dirk started off, with no assistance, and it was like not as good studios and all that. So you gotta keep that in mind as well. And I think he even wrote some of Vaughn's like first couple songs or something like that. Him and Buka or something like that, assisted. You know what I mean? Buka ain't that good to me though, but he could probably definitely have some decent writing here and there. I just don't really like his songs too much, but there's some I like. You know what I'm saying?
And over his solo music. This didn't pay off right away, but he didn't give up and never strayed away from his consistency. But around 2018, things really started to pick up. He released a collab tape with the other OTF artists called Only the Family Involved. Shining light on these other artists that were now buzzing too was helping bring more attention to Dirk and his campaign. One of these artists was King Von, who had recently beat a murder case and picked up rapping as soon as he came home. Dirk took Von under his wing and even released some of his first songs on his own YouTube channel to promote him.
That boy
Although other
Vaughn.
OTF members were gaining popularity too, King Von was blowing up fast after the release of his Crazy Story trilogy. Von and Dirk became inseparable, and it looked like Von was the missing puzzle piece that Dirk had been looking for. As OTF started to become more recognized as a label, Dirk's career seemed
They
to
got
benefit
Buka
from
with
this in
him,
a massive
somebody
way.
else.
A whole new generation of listeners were now tuning into Dirk that weren't before.
Was really getting up to.
With Vaughn and Durk now leading the Chicago music scene, the publicity made them household names. The two even beat an
Swear
attempted
it was
murder.
really Dirk, Vaughn, Herb, and Polo G. Them was like the niggas really like that been in the forefront since like 2018 and all that. And then you had like Duck and Ruga and stuff. You know, Chief Keef's still up there, but you know that's some of the main people that was really relevant with the 2018 and up
Case together, and their
drill
music
era.
numbers were rising fast. Love Songs for the Streets 2 dropped shortly after and showcased his improvement. This would be his most
Yeah, I
successful
didn't
tape
like
to
the
drop at
first
this point.
love song from the
This
streets,
is
but
when
the
he
second was great. You know what I'm saying?
started to gain more of a mainstream recognition. By 2020, Lil Durk was getting gold and platinum plaques for almost every song he touched. His two albums that year, Just Cause Y'all Waited and The Voice, would both peak at number 2 on the Billboard and both went gold.
R.I.P. Vaughn.
10 years after his first mixtape and 8 years after signing his first record deal, he was finally considered a frontrunner in the rap community.
Yeah, Dirk is like
Unfortunately, King
almost a
Von would also
superstar at this
pass away
point.
that same year.
You damn near could say he's a superstar now. I mean, he's not like Drake or nothing, but when it comes to street rappers, like not too many people over him. The only street rappers who probably get more views is like Lil Baby and Youngboy. I think that's the only ones. And Pullo G and him's like neck and neck with that. But Dirk like definitely top 5 like popular street rappers right now.
And that's just one of the
Top
people
10
close to Durk
rapper
that he lost
popular
along
rappers
the
in
way.
general.
With
Under.
Von gone, Durk continued to keep his name alive and pushed his OTF brand even harder. As his name grew, so did his associates. In 2021, he was featured on both Drake
I
and
know the
Kanye
Drake
West's
feature
studio
that turned him
albums,
up too. I
proving
ain't
he had
gonna cap.
solidified his position at the top, surpassing the careers of pretty much everyone he started with. And even OG fans were somewhat surprised to see how large Durk had become.
Facts. Even I'm telling you, even surpassed Keith's success. Like Keith was the one that was really like above him for a minute. But I ain't gonna lie, Dirk ain't more successful than Pullo G though. But they kind of neck and neck for real. But Pullo G got a couple songs with 100 mil on YouTube, and then he got like more plaques and all that too. But Dirk might be more popular for real. But Pullo G is the most successful from the drill scene. But Dirk is more influential and better skill wise than Pullo G. I ain't gonna lie, but you know, Pullo up there for me, top 5 with Dirk, Herb, Pullo, Chief Keef, all that. Feel me, Vaughn, Pappy, all them type of dudes. Lil Bibby, L.A. You got Duck up there, stuff like that. Lud Foe, that was an underrated one, but yeah, them some of my dudes I really like put in top 10 overall. You feel me?
Unlike a lot of artists who
But Dirk
peaked
number
shortly
one,
after their
bro.
first
Dirk number
breakthrough
one
song,
overall.
Lil
Dirk
Durk
number
is one of
one.
the few who was patient enough to wait
Under.
over a decade to reach his full
Second most successful from the drill scene, second most influential, and first skill wise will overall equal him at number 1. You feel me?
potential, and he's still growing to this day.
What do you say?
Peaked shortly after their first breakthrough song, Lil Durk is one of the few who was patient enough to wait over a decade to reach his full potential.
His
and he's
shit
still
really
growing to this
authentic.
day.
Wait, what do you say?
To reach his full potential, and he's still growing to this day.
Real shit. Still growing. Bro, gonna really go up his next project too, even more. And this Youngboy beef, that's feeling it heavy. Like I said, only dudes more popular than Youngboy street rappers is, more popular than Durk is Youngboy and Baby for real. And like Pullo G, like neck and neck with him. But yeah, man, Durk is really gonna keep going up, bro. He just gotta stay out of the drama. Well, in terms of like going to jail or dying. But yeah, wish Durk the best, man. Real shit. Bro, definitely one of my favorite rappers in this generation. Easily. Probably my favorite for real, especially when it comes to street rappers. But that's the end of the video, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all let me know how y'all felt about that in the comments below, man. Got more videos coming. Make sure y'all stay in tune. And I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. And remember, y'all, stay positive and have a great rest of y'all day. For sure.